Hello everybody and welcome to another video where I take a look at what's popular in light novels in Japan. This time taking a look at the top 10 best-selling light novels for the week of April 15th to the 21st of 2019. So let's get to the list. At number 10 with 6,215 copies sold, volume number 6 of 86. This one, of course, on the list previously. This is released in English by Yen On. We've got the first volume already out. Volume number 2 is on the way. This a series about two nations at war, the Republic and the Empire. The Empire are the aggressors with AI-controlled drone machines, and the Republic, well, they have decided to answer with their own drones that are controlled via AI, or at least that is what they are telling their citizens. In reality, the Republic has basically taken anyone who is of any kind of mixed race or, is an immigrant from outside the Republic, whatever, has essentially dehumanized them, put them into internment camps, and is now forcing them to fight if they want to regain any kind of citizenship or any kind of status. And it is a pretty heavy book, but a really, really well written one. I will be talking about it actually in the next week or so. I will have a review posted of volume number 1. Spoilers, I really enjoyed it. At number 9 with 6,353 copies sold, this one is volume number 7 of Jaku, Chara, Tomozaki-kun, or Bottom Tier Tomozaki. This is actually the special edition of volume number 7. I believe it came with a drama CD or some sort of special type edition work. This one has been licensed for English release by Yen On. They're going to be releasing the first volume on July 23rd of 2019. Tomozaki is one of the best gamers in Japan, and in his opinion, the game of real life is one of the worst. No clear-cut rules for success, horribly balanced, and nothing makes sense. But then he meets a gamer who's just as good as him, and she offers to teach him a few exploits. So this has been on the list numerous times before, and I was really pleased actually that Yen On picked this one up. Not only because it's a slice of life, but also because it combines that whole gamer's slice of life aspect, which I've kept saying for a long time that I think it would be such an easy sell to the English market. So it'll be interesting to see how this one does. I kind of get the feeling, like the way that it's been advertised and everything, that the publisher is kind of trying to push it as a bit of a spiritual successor to My Youth Romantic Comedy As Wrong As I Expected. I've heard from a couple of people who have read this, and they say, not quite. The main character isn't quite as engaging or interesting as Hachiman, but it'll be interesting to see nonetheless. And like I said, I'm kind of curious to see just how much of the whole gamer aspect and gamer mentality plays out throughout the series, and I guess we'll see that on July. At number 8 with 7,605 copies sold, volume number 3 of Nanchatte, Cinderella, Ōkoku sōran-hen, togibanashi no tsudzuki, hajimemashita, or Fake Cinderella, Continuing the Kingdom Mayhem Fables. We do not have this licensed for English release. In fact, this is actually a sequel series to Fake Cinderella, if you kind of got that feeling from the whole continuing part of the title. Now, the main series, Izumi Maya, a 33-year-old professional pastry chef who went out to buy some mustard, got caught in an accident. When she regained her awareness, she had reincarnated as a 12-year-old princess. Besides, she also had a husband who was older than her. A king, moreover. Maya, who seems to have realized that she had arrived in a place where her life would be targeted, decides to try to get along with her husband in order to protect herself. In the name of being a pastry chef, I'll defeat the criminal and my husband's stomach at the same time. So obviously this one, I think this is more of like a shoujo, slightly romantic comedy type series. Again, kind of combining those creepy sort of, she's young, but her mind is old, so is it creepy or is it not creepy? This one says she reincarnates as a 12-year-old who's married, which yeah, I don't know. I don't know why the author would go that route, but in any case, obviously the initial series popular enough that the author came back, and now this is the third volume of the sequel series. At number 7, with 7,846 copies sold, it's the regular edition of volume number 7 of Jaku Chara Tomozaki-kun, or bottom tier character Tomozaki. So this one appearing actually twice on the list. Altogether, it would have been, almost a little over 14,000 copies sold of this volume. So again, like I said, pretty popular series, and one that I'll definitely be checking out. At number 6, with 8,068 copies sold, volume 16 of Rakudai Kishi no Eiyuutan, or, as the anime was released in English, Chivalry of a Failed Knight. We do not have the light novels licensed for English release. This one about Kuragane Iki, who is a student in an academy that trains mage knights, so those who are able to use magic. And the academy's board decides that they're going to pair up all of the students with someone who is similar to their abilities in order to try and draw out the best in everyone. Just so happens that his roommate is a really beautiful girl who happens to be also a princess of another nation. And, well, hilarity ensues. The usual, I walk in, naked girl, oops. Then they want to fight. And, of course, the one sort of thing about this is that whoever wins the battle between the two of them must be the other one, the loser, is going to have eternal servitude to that person. Yeah, we can probably see where this whole thing is going. A bit of a romantic comedy, magic high school battle series that I know is very popular and a lot of people have been asking to get licensed. Who knows? Maybe this will be the year. At number 5, with 10,408 copies sold, Volume 5 of Fate Strange Fake. This one we do not have an English license for. As I said in the last video when this was on the top 10, it is written by Ryohgo Narita, who is also the author of Baccano and Durarara. A few people commented that this one is actually kind of cool because it takes the whole setup of the Fate series, which is, this magical battle in order to claim the Grail in order to have your wish fulfilled. But the whole idea in this one is that it's actually kind of a fake ceremony. They're using magic to try and emulate the Grail battle, and it means that things get a little bit twisted. Like, some of the people summoned as heroes are probably not what we would consider heroes in the most classic of senses. Given how massive the Fate series is and all the variants and everything else, this is one that I would like to see get sort of either animated or come out in English, whatever, just because it is sort of taking a completely alternate view and is kind of mixing things up a little bit. Plus, Narita's a decent author. It would be kind of cool to see what kind of twists and turns he built into this. At number 4, with 15,143 copies sold, Volume 12 of Imouto Sai Ireba, or A Sister's All You Need, we do have this one licensed for English release by Yen On. Itsuki Hashima is a novelist who's hopelessly enamored with the idea of little sisters and is constantly surrounded by colorful characters. A world-class genius and love guru whose beauty almost seems a waste on her. A girl who's constantly troubled by her friendships, love interests, and can't even find refuge in her dreams. A ridiculously talented illustrator. Each of them have as many problems and worries as the next, and they never have a dull day together as they play games, travel, and work together. From the same author of the famous I Don't Have Many Friends, Yomi Hirasaka. So I've read the first volume of this. This is a series that I should really pick up some more because the volumes aren't that long and they are relatively an easy, light read. And I don't know what they're like going forward, but the first volume, they're really just sort of vignettes, right? They're just like, this is a specific point in their life. So, the heat breaks down in Utsuki's apartment, and so they decide to travel to go away because there's no heat in his apartment. There's another one where he's doing his taxes and so forth. The book, I think, if I recall, ends with a big game of them playing like Dungeons and Dragons, essentially. So it's very, very slice of life. Obviously, there's a bit of Ishii kind of mixed in, especially when the author uses Itsuki's kind of predilections to write something that, wow, is really over the top. Like the book opens up, the first volume opens up, it is like a troll so much, because when you're reading it you think, oh my god, what have I done to myself? Yeah, and I liked it. I actually ended up liking it. I liked it a lot better than I thought I would. I think I kind of liked it because as much as there was a bunch of absurdity and jokes and everything else, there were also some rather poignant moments that it really gave you sort of some insight into that whole artist's mindset, writer's mindset and stuff. Like, I think there was some slight biographical stuff put into that book. So overall, it was pretty entertaining. Like I said, it's a series that I would like to pick up some more of because I was pleasantly surprised by the first volume. And number 3, with 16,402 copies sold, Meitante Conan, Konjo no Fisuto, or Detective Conan, The Fist of Blue Sapphire. This is the light novel adaptation of the 23rd Detective Conan film. This one about a murder that takes place at the grand showing of a very rare and uber expensive blue sapphire. And of course, Conan must get involved. This one's going to be on the list for a while. I'll tell you all that just right now. Because if I recall, because I'm going back in time, kind of weird doing these when they're not really on time. I'm getting there. In any case, if I recall the movie, I don't think it opened yet. Because there's a big spike in sales in this one, which I'm pretty sure coincides with the movie. So, in any case, yes, the Detective Conan series, a very long-going series. Of course, a manga originally. Then we got the manga as Case Closed. Viz is publishing that. We've also had the anime on Crunchyroll. You can see the most recent episodes, but I believe the license was lost for the earlier episodes. So if you're looking to jump on board, I think the manga is about the only thing that really is the way to go for you. And number 2, with 22,889 copies sold, Volume 28 of Mahoka Koko no Reitose, The Irregular at Magic High School. Of course, we do have this one being released in English by Yen On. This one about a world where magic has become basically like a science and technology, and it is focusing on a brother and sister who are attending the first magic high school of Japan. And the sister is incredibly gifted. The brother is gifted, but not in a way that generally society understands or can test. And so while the sister is put in the first top of the class, he is relegated to sort of the less than desirables. And then, of course, the series goes into all sorts of crazy directions from there. Everything from magical high schools competing against one another to terrorist attacks to it goes on and on. This one, of course, did have an anime. I think it only covered, if I recall, the first 7 volumes, although it did omit one of the books. So, significant amount of this series not covered in any way by the anime. I've said it before, and I will always say it. I am almost astounded that we have not had more anime adaptations done of this series, given how incredibly well the books sell and the fact that there is so much more material than what the anime covered. Finally, at number 1, with 31,720 copies sold, it is the latest in Nishio Ishin's Monogatari series, and that is Amari Monogatari. This one we do have licensed for English release by Vertical, and I've been keeping up with that series pretty much. I have the most recent one I'm going to read in another couple weeks. So that's the one series I've managed to pretty much keep up on. This series, of course, a series that takes a character, Araragi, and he is not a vampire, but not exactly not a vampire, and then surrounds him with a whole bunch of mainly girls who all get involved in weird and crazy supernatural things, all of them becoming involved with things like abnormalities, basically, is what they call them. And it is an interesting series. It is both comedy as well as it does definitely have some poignant moments and commentary on certain things. I find it really entertaining. It's very, very character driven, but I think what I like most about the books is Nishio Ishin you can tell that he sees it as his place to do whatever he wants. He breaks the fourth wall so often in the series, stopping to talk about how it's going to be difficult to adapt this for the anime, or how they can't do a certain thing because the anime won't be able to be aired if they go that way, or how they might be breaking laws in Japan if they flirt with a certain person. And it goes on, and I don't know, maybe because I was a fan of Deadpool years ago, even before the movie became popular, I've always kind of liked that breaking the fourth wall when characters kind of do that a bit. It's kind of like, it makes you feel, I think, like you're a bit more a part of it, because a lot of those breaking of the fourth walls are sort of wink wink, nudge nudge to the reader, like, oh, you remember this, and even characters commenting that a character is acting completely different than they did 4 books ago. I don't know, like those kind of things they draw you in, and they make me feel like there's that I'm participating in the series is all. So this is one that I've actually been surprised by how much that I've enjoyed it, particularly the later volumes, what would be comprised of season 2. I actually just finished reading the last book of what's considered season 2 of the Monogatari series, and it was season 2 was, I thought, way better even than season 1. I really enjoyed it. So definitely a series that I am making efforts to continue with. In this video, I want to say a special thanks to Kyle Block, Yoon, Mitchell Von Region, and Renzaz for their support on Patreon, as well as the support of all of my patrons that help keep this channel running, help keep the podcast hosted in as many places as possible, so I can do as much as I can to try and bring the love of light novels to the masses. So those are the top 10 best-selling light novels in Japan for April 15th to the 21st of 2019. I've already got the next video all prepped and ready to go, so I'm moving ahead. I'm trying to do about 2 of these a week so that I can try and be caught up, hopefully by the end of June, early July. I don't want to kind of flood like 10 of these all out at once, because I think that would be kind of boring for all of you. In fact, my next video is going to finally be a review. We're getting back to reviews. Going to be reviewing I Shall Survive Using Potions, volume number 1. So going to be trying to get the reviews back into the mix, because I haven't done as many of those, and it's something that I kind of miss doing. So look forward to that, and look forward to another one of these videos very, very soon. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining me in this video. I look forward to seeing you in any of my future ones. Till then, bye-bye for now.